Hi, my name's Ivan from Enchanted Healing, and today we're going to talk about mindfulness. As we've all noticed over the last couple of weeks, that what people are saying and doing are becoming two different things. So you may come across some very spiritual beings but aren't very mindful of how they talk, or you may come across some people who aren't even spiritual in any way but actually are very mindful of what they say and do. Now, one of the things I notice, and this is becoming from being an observer of conversations and how people interact with each other, is everyone reacts. No one actually stops and feels or even thinks of why they're doing something. The words are said and the mind clicks in and we react. There's no thought process in the slightest. It all happens in a split second that we don't even catch ourselves doing it. But when we learn and practice in just a one-on-one with our close friends, our family, our children, even our pets, we can sit there and have a conversation with them and be mindful of everything we do, why we are saying something. What is the reason behind the words we're saying? Is there a reason behind the whole reaction to everything that we've just did? Or is it something that just pours out? If it just pours out, that's reaction. That's not any time where we sit and think about what we're doing. And to be really mindful is to be pretty honest with yourself as well, to actually sit there and look at yourself and why am I saying this? It's no use reacting to Bob or Mary's conversation and just continue, especially if we talk over them. That's not mindful. That's not even a conscious conversation in the slightest. What that is just us trying to get our point across. Even if it's in a conversation, we talk over people to get a point across. But if you're being mindful of what you say or what you do and how you act around people, then we can stop that. And all it is just, as you notice you do it, which is have to be very aware of yourself, as you notice it, stop and say, oh look, sorry, continue, or just continue, it's okay, and then listen. And always have pauses before you sit there and really express what's coming out, because the pause makes it a better conversation. It makes it better for you to be aware of what's being said, and you've actually checked yourself. Why am I saying this? And it all happens very quickly, but it's a place where you can actually do something and be experiencing a whole new conversation where you'll learn so much more. Everything around you that you see and do will come from a different perspective, because you're no longer reacting to everything. You are actually acted upon the words, because you've searched deep inside, you've noticed the feelings that come up, and if it's a hurt feeling, really pull yourself back a bit. You know, sometimes it's easy just to lean back in the chair or where you are. If you're standing in a conversation, just shuffle your feet or just lean to this one side or the other. It's a subtle movement, but it's enough for you to shift out of that mindset and give you that break. So then you can talk in a more mindful way without reaction. With reaction becomes pain and hurt because we are reacting. Conversations that just talk over each other, conversations that lead to arguments, conversations that seem to go nowhere are all ones that are reacted on, not actually thought about and processed as we communicate. So just take the time yourself and just know that you can all be mindful in what we do, in all our actions, in all our feelings, in all our talks and conversations. Start with the children, start with the animals, start with your friends, start with a complete stranger. Doesn't matter where we start, as long as you're being mindful of your actions. When you're at the checkout, say hello to someone and you're communicating, be mindful of why you're doing it. And if you're aware you're doing this because you want to be more mindful, that's awesome, because that's giving you the time and effort to sit there and take that. You're going that little bit further than normal, instead of just a person who just goes, hi, how you going? Yeah, here's the money, let's go, I'm out of here. Or the silent type that just sits there. You can be all of them if you want, and that's absolutely perfect. But what we're just trying to bring towards you now is bring more mindfulness into your life. Start on Mondays, Mindful Monday, where you can sit there and just be very mindful of everything. Have a little notebook, and after each conversation, Maybe jot down a few little things that you saw or caught yourself doing, whether you feel it was a positive or a negative, whether you feel it was a very nice thing to happen or a very uneasy. How did you feel during the conversation? Did you feel enlivened by it? And if you're enlivened by it, that's a very good sign that there's mindfulness happening. If you're coming from a very heavy feeling, that's a lot of reactions going on, and therefore there's projections as well. It's not just a free-flowing conversation. Every conversation you have, you may or may not learn from. Every conversation you have should be just that. Not someone talking over someone, not actually just reacting to everything that's going on. It's coming from the space of understanding who you are and what you are, and that helps you as a person grow and be more conscious of yourself and very mindful of all your actions. Have an absolutely beautiful time and have fun with this, because everything we do is supposed to be fun, because we love everything we do. We just need to be mindful of why we're doing something and what is the reason behind it. Is there an alternative reason in all your conversations? Is there a reason for you to react? Have they triggered something inside you that you've just got to talk over and blurt? Is it that important that you have to talk over someone that it can't wait a second for it to come out? All these little things will bring your mindfulness into a bigger perspective for you, and it will improve your life so much more, because you'll know when to keep quiet. You'll know when to say something, because you'll know why you are and what they have done. And people will trigger you. People will do what they can on a subconscious level as well as a conscious level. People will do these things to you that will make you react. But the more you're mindful of it, the more you're aware of it, then the whole thing becomes, I want to say a game, but it's not a game. It's an understanding of who you are. And that understanding in itself will progress your growth in leaps and bounds, more than any other workshop you could probably do, because this is your work, this is your growth, this is you understanding you, and understanding that the best part about all this is you're growing at your pace, in your time. And that is such a beautiful and loving thing to experience. So next time you're in a conversation, be mindful of how and why you're talking to people. Just be aware of the reactions. Sit in a group and actually just watch people communicate. It's really interesting if you're in a shopping centre, you're at an eatery or a cafe, or even at your own dinner table or a barbecue. Just watch people interact. Be mindful of how you're coming across as well, but just watch people interact and watch them how they communicate, whether they talk over each other or whether they don't. Who seems to be listening? Because if you're reacting, are you really listening? Or is it just something that just pours out of your body because it has to get out? And usually when it comes out like that, it becomes forceful, and the other person feels that energy. So be aware of that in yourself, and being aware that no matter what's going on, you're perfect. You won't notice that unless you're mindful of it. Otherwise, you'll just think you're doing the same thing. So I want to send you all big hugs, big kisses, much love. Thank you so much for listening for me today. And always have a mindful Monday where everything you do, you're very mindful of your actions, your thoughts, your feelings. Take notes and notice yourself. Be aware and observe other people. And as you're doing this, you'll understand yourself. Not to pick faults, but to understand yourself. And you'll see that within you. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.